So, I want to talk about the subject of falling in love with selling and having a great relationship with selling. Because I know that this is one of those areas that a lot of entrepreneurs struggle in, and they don't necessarily like the aspect of sales and marketing and advertising. They love all the different elements and aspects of their business, of serving and everything, but when it comes to actually putting themselves out there to be the ones who are positioning their message in the marketplace and providing people with the opportunity to know about their services or their offers. A lot of entrepreneurs and small business owners, as I mentioned, they struggle with that. They don't really like that aspect. But we have to understand that without sales in a business, and I've talked about this in other videos, you don't have a business, all right? And if you are not in alignment with the higher aspects of selling, there's not going to be the profitability in your operation. So you have to find a way to develop a deeper relationship with selling and look at it from a different vantage point. So I like the aspect of being in relationship with all of life, being in relationship with your business, and also being in the relationship with different elements and aspects, and selling is one of those. And so you need to be in partnership with selling, right? And find out the best ways for you to be able to leverage that aspect for the higher profitability within your business. So when you think about a relationship, when you're in a relationship with someone, whether it is, a significant other, even family or so, that takes time to build that relationship. But it also takes consistency and being able to understand each other and know what each other likes. And then also, too, because it is a partnership, it's more than just a one-way street, in a sense, because you're dealing with more than just yourself. You have to engage that in a way to come to know these things and to work on these things together. So if you don't like selling, but selling is mandatory for being in business, making sales, I should say, then you need to find out how you can be more engaging in that. How can you honor that part of the business more, right? So going back to any type of relationship that you have, again, whether with a significant other, your parents, your children, however, friends, or even colleagues, if you don't understand something or something kind of bothers you a little bit, what do? Communication. So you have to start having open communication and dialogue, in a sense, with the selling. Now, not in the crazy woo-woo way of, talking, to yourself or however. But sometimes it's just about being present and really starting to get to know that individual, really starting to get to know and hear. And you can do that with the area of sales and marketing or advertising. Getting present and just listening as if it were a partner and engaging it in that way. And if you're not asking the question maybe out loud or directly to it, in a sense, just be present with the intention. And when you're present with the intention, what will happen is that you'll receive insight and wisdom around how to move forward, or how can I honor and start to love and like this, better. And so sometimes you have to take it outside the aspect of selling itself. You're in business, so you need to be profitable. So even if you came from that vantage point of, I want, a profitable business, okay, to have a profitable business, what is that going to take? What is that going to take? Because you want to make money and you love making the money, but in order to make the money, guess what has to happen? That's right. There has to be some selling. Some sales have to be made. But it's how are the sales made? And how do you feel about it? Because there are ways that you can sell that are in alignment for you, and it will not feel like you're selling anything. because it is just kind of a natural way of being. And I know that there are some who teach on that about, here's how you sell without really selling and all these different things. But here's the interesting twist of that. There's contrast and resistance that's thrown in with that kind of way of introducing it, because it's making sales initially seem like it's something bad by saying, oh, well, here's how you do it without really doing it, So again, even with being in a relationship, here's how you're in a relationship without actually being in a relationship. Oh, now it's a relationship of convenience. It's conditional. It's very interesting dynamics. But when you see it for what it really is, that within itself, selling or making sales, there's nothing wrong with that. It is the attachments and the assignments of others with their biases, with their, their different things around it that has then created this momentum of perception within many entrepreneurs and business owners not to really appreciate that aspect of their business. Sure, I love the creativity aspect. I love creating offers. I love serving and helping people. I suck at selling. I hate marketing. I don't know what to do. I'm not comfortable with it. Again, all of this is about relationship. And if you're feeling that way, guess how sales and marketing, advertising, guess how all of that is feeling? Like you don't appreciate it. Like you think it's something you just have to do and you're dreading to do it. I talked about this in another video in terms of even when people are in a relationship. Oh, I got to do this part. I got to, this. But not looking at what you're actually saying. Especially if you're in business. If you're in business and you feel you feel ways about selling, making sales, that doesn't really have a lot of logic to it. I get it that maybe it's not the part of the business that you really like the most, and that's okay. But you do have to look at it for what it is. If you, in fact, don't have sales coming into your business, you don't have a business. You're not in business. And you can't have a profitable business if in fact you aren't comfortable enough to engage the selling in a different way. I changed the rules of engagement to many things, and selling is one of those. Because honestly, when I am quote unquote selling in a sense, I honestly don't feel like I'm selling. And it typically doesn't come off that way either. It's kind of just a really natural organic flow. And I've talked about this in other videos too, but at the same time, I don't have this love-hate relationship with selling. I actually enjoy it. And I enjoy it because I'm in a relationship with selling. I love it. And it just feels like the right thing to be doing as it relates to adding value to the marketplace and creating the divine right value exchange in the win-win for me and the prospect or the client or however, the consumer. We're in this together. And I don't need to be underselling in a sense or undervaluing who I am and what I bring to the table by positioning something a certain way because I'm uncomfortable, and then they're getting the value, and then later on I feel resentful in a sense because I don't have what I need or what I feel I need or whatever. See, I don't go through that because there's a relationship there. And so again, because it is a vital part of the operation, you have to find ways to start loving it and falling in love with it and honoring it for what it is. Sales and selling is not a bad thing despite what your experience has been with it, despite what others have been displaying in business with it, and over aggressive marketing and really getting on your nerves with how they do it, and even people addressing and approaching you. I get it. I've been there in terms of experiencing that. And yes, it can drive me bananas. It makes me feel uncomfortable. But one thing I know is that that's not my way of doing it. That's their way of doing it. But I do understand the impact that it makes on others and how it makes them feel. But the thing about it is entrepreneurs are the ones who are really allowing themselves to be highly impacted by that way of beingness, to the point that they actually don't get in and start selling. They don't appreciate it. And something I want to say in terms of business online, you cannot escape that part as an entrepreneur. And also, too, not passing your marketing and selling off to other people. You can definitely have a PR firm, promotional ambassadors, a sales and marketing team, yes, to help you and to do all that. But you as the business owner, as the brand, need to also engage in that. And even if it is that you're speaking and adding value in a sense, and then providing opportunities for people to participate in their own level up. All of this is about finding your unique way, and understand this is a requirement. Sales is a requirement. Selling is a requirement. But it is how you do it. But don't back off from it, because there's a lot of stuff out there that you just feel is giving it such a bad reputation. Forget that. It's about your intentions. But going back to being in the relationship. You're in a relationship, you know how you feel warm and fuzzy, when you're first in there, but you need to keep that fire going. You need to keep those butterflies feeling a certain way. I feel that way about the selling aspect. The warm and fuzzies, in a sense. And a lot of it is because, too, understanding the impact that it's making on other people when they can participate for their higher level in terms of what is being provided. And of course, then when there is the pricing around this, or a sale, that divine right value exchange, again, it should make you feel good, not just for the aspect of making the money, the aspect of making the impact. And there has to be that balance. You cannot escape that part. So my encouragement is to find your unique way to start falling in love with selling. Now, I know some people will say, well, no, you shouldn't encourage people to be passionate about something that they really don't want to do. Okay. Yes and no. But here's the thing. We're talking about being in business. And there are some things that you simply have to do, and making sales is one of those. But looking at selling for what it is, and sales for what they are. Because you can't want the sales and then not want to participate in the selling aspect. But when you're in a relationship and see sales as your partner, it will provide to you the wisdom of how to go about engaging this in new ways, changing the rules of engagement for yourself. There is a right way for you to do it, but in finding your right way, you cannot look at it and view it as, it's the plague, it's sinful. You really have to change your mind around that. And don't try to position yourself in a way to say, okay, I'm going to do this, and I because I don't want to come off salesy or different things like that. Again, that creates resistance. That's saying there's something wrong there. When you look at it for what it is, and also marry that with your intention of why you're doing what you're doing to make an impact and to make an income, they work together like a hand in glove. You'll get that right way. You'll know exactly how to position yourself, how to create that copy, and you'll feel really good about it. So I want you to start feeling really good, not just about selling itself, just about being in relationship with it and feeling good about the relationship. Look what sales and I get to do today. Selling and I, we get, not what we have to do, what I have to do. Look at what we get to do, creating this empire, this business a certain way, and making the impact in the income and the people's lives who are changing. My family's life is changing because of this. I'm changing and evolving because of this. So that's something that I want you to consider. And just take time to be present with it. I do have some more extensive trainings around, this particular topic. But I look forward to sharing more on this soon.